Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Know Your Charity. My name is Faraz Patel. I would like to thank you, the viewer, for joining us here on Hilaal TV, DSTV channel 347. And of course, this Ramadan, we are bringing you content that will uplift you and inspire you. And talking about upliftment and inspiration, one organization that is doing exactly that in various communities is Colors of Hope. And joining me now on Zoom, I'd like to welcome a member of the organization. She's also the co-founder of it, Sauda Ismail. Sauda, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and jazakallah so much for joining us.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you for having us on the show.
No, it's an absolute pleasure. Sauda, talk to us about the history of the organization and, of course, what inspired you to be one of those who started it.
So this is from growing up. 7 years old, I've seen this, and I think it was just our calling, basically. 2013, we decided when the Syria war broke out that we were going to deliver stationery. We partnered with Gift of the Givers, and although people were asking us why we were giving stationery, it was a very fruitful project. And before that, we were actually a maktab. It was called Hasanat. My twin sister Kashifa was running it in Johannesburg, and I was running it in Newcastle, KZN. And that is actually the birthplace of Colors of Hope. We started with Quran distributions and then just carried on from there.
Sauda, what are some of the key projects, I beg your pardon, your organization has worked on over the years?
So our key projects are human emergency response, like humanitarian response, was like in Gaza, in floods, in Morocco, that's one of it. The other is we're very big on education, so we focus a lot on support to children, support to mothers or single mothers who have kids, school uniforms, stationery, that kind of thing. We also support a school here in rural Newcastle called Jobstown in Syria, in northern Syria. We support Sister Masiha Saluji's school there. It's called Dar al-Ilm. And we have many projects. Currently, it's Bread for Gaza.
Sure.
It's a lot of ongoing. It's water. It's Quran. You just need to get onto our website to have a look. It's too many to enumerate.
Yeah, I mean, all of those are important projects, aren't they? Talk to us about the Bread for Gaza. Of course, they've just come from a ceasefire, but I mean, the destruction there is still quite large.
100%. So even though we think that things are okay, like you said, destruction's large, where are they going to sleep? Shelter's a problem. So it's so many things that we need, and it's ongoing, and the prices of things are quite high. So with Bread for Gaza, we have a little bakery there, and we do a good tens of thousands of loaves. And alhamdulillah, the thing is, it's very expensive. Flour's expensive as well. So whatever we can get, we're very, very grateful for.
Sure.
So that's just one of the projects in Gaza.
Sure. So, Uda, we always talk about the impact, NGOs and NPOs like yourself create amongst communities. But what would you say is the impacts that your projects have made in these various communities?
I think that would be more in the communities that we live in. We each have a person or a family, the directors especially, that we say we adopt them, and we see that their kids go to school and we help them where we can, but more empowering than just paying. We don't want something that's going to be toxic charity. We want to empower them. So we have some good stories, of people that have been empowered.
Can you share some of those stories? I think it's important for the listeners to maybe, or the viewers,
Sure.
I beg your pardon, to maybe know these feel-good stories, because this is something that I think inspires so many communities.
So there's a interesting story of the lady who does our cooking. So we do feeds, right?
Sure.
And she is an elderly lady. She's, I think, in her late 60s. And she adopted these children. They were living in not a very good condition. Their mom had left.
Sure.
I can't tell you how bad the conditions were. You would have to see it for you to believe it. But anyway, she adopted them and put them in an Islamic school. They're getting the education. The daughter's matriculated. She's going to study now. So it's relatively new, but it's good things.
Sure,
It's
sure.
only good that can come from there. And it's just one woman who had this feeling in her heart that she wanted to do more and not just look, because most of the time we see things and it's like we wait for somebody else to do it
Of
when
course,
we
yeah.
need to be the first to jump at it, you know?
And I mean, just that story in itself, I mean, how much of satisfaction does it give you as an individual, along with your other members, that whatever projects that have made an impact in the communities, you are able to reap the rewards just from obviously a Sadaqal
100%.
Jariyah perspective.
Yes, yes. Or when that mother sends the report every month or every 6 months or every term, she'll send a report and said, look how well my child did at school, or look how well my child did at madrasa. We couldn't have done this
Sure,
without you.
sure.
You feel good. You feel good.
Obviously, any organization is going to have certain challenges. Talk to us about the challenges your organization faces in achieving its mission.
So the challenges are, for example, everything will be going well, maybe in a certain area, and then you have a war.
Yes.
And then you have funds that are cut off, and then there's risk management and those kind of things. Other things are back home is like volunteers, making sure that we
Yes.
have volunteers trained or people that we're empowering with skills that they are trained, and we want them to make something of their
Sure,
lives.
sure.
So those are some of the challenges that we face.
I'm seeing in the back there of your of one of your posters, I think it's hard work, if I stand to be corrected. Could you maybe just
Yes.
mention all three of that and
So-
give us an idea of where the slogan had come from?
I'm going to show you. So
Okay.
if you look here, you see there's a petal,
Yes, yes,
right?
yes.
And each petal stands for something. So
Okay.
it's one is clean intention,
Right,
to
yes.
have a clean heart, hard work, prayer,
Yes.
and unity.
Yes.
So those four things are what we feel makes Colors of Hope great,
Sure, sure.
where we can turn hope into reality for people.
Yes. So Uda, I want to go back to the challenges part of things. Let's look at war, for example. So we take October the 7th, when that happened, and obviously Gaza now had came under this tremendous bombardment which started the genocide. How was your team on the ground able to say, okay, despite all of this, we want to try and deliver the basic necessities to these communities?
We have an absolute amazing team, and they like family. Let me tell you, it's October the 7th. It was so hard from there because it's like speaking to your family and they have to evacuate and evacuate.
Of
So what
course.
happened was, we have backup teams as well. And you have to have a backup team in case something happens, so that your backup team can help your team that's in the war zone.
Sure.
So as this team was moving and running, so certain members, they moved with their families and evacuated to other places. But where our chief of projects is,
Yes.
he had moved, and wherever he had moved, he had then done work with
Sure,
with
sure.
Red Crescent, because we work with Red Crescent there as well. And so that's how we were able, in the beginning of the war, wherever they evacuate, they start doing the work. SubhanAllah, it is so amazing. They're running for their lives, but they're also going and continuing this work. And that's how we were able to provide food to a lot of the hospitals in Gaza, just depending
Sure.
on where our team was.
And of course, not forgetting Syria, of course, the civil war ended there in December last year, but there's still quite a lot of work to do there. Talk to us about that, please.
So Alhamdulillah, in Syria, it wasn't as, I wouldn't say bad, but we could get funds in because it's via Turkey. So Turkey is stable, and so that carried on during the war. Even now, it's continuing.
Sure.
Now I think we've got to even do more than what we could.
Yes.
Now we've got to really do more.
No, of course, and of course the wars, or the war continue. The war is ended in Syria. There's a ceasefire in Gaza, but of course, still a lot of work to be done in terms of humanitarian aid. After the break, I continue my conversation with Sauda Ismail from Colors of Hope. Do stay tuned. Welcome back to Know Your Charity. I'm still in conversation with Sauda Ismail from Colors of Hope. Sauda, shukran again for staying with us. The community, obviously you play a role in so many communities. Talk to us about it, because I know that you guys are not just limited to the Muslim community, but you stretch out to the non-Muslim communities. So talk to us about that, please.
First of all, stretching out to everyone, it's humanity. It's the Sunnah of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
Sallallahu Alaihi
It's
Wasallam.
showing your akhlaq. It's, being the best you can be. I personally have a lady that is not too far away from me where, we put her kids through school and her son was working and he's developed cancer and he's young, he's like 22 years old. But they're such hardworking, diligent people going out to work. Another lady in Gauteng, her son is at varsity. We're waiting for him to graduate. We want to have this big party for him. And we're so proud of them. With having so little, they just need support. It's not always that people need money. They just need sometimes to be pointed in the right direction and they need support and love.
Yeah, I want to touch on that because sometimes it's not just about, you spot on, it's not just the money aspect. Obviously, the money aspect is important in trying to get to where they want to be. But that social support, how important is that social support? Because that's all, people need, some sort of a lift to get them to achieve their aims.
It's huge. Let me tell you, that is charity. We get so carried away by looking at images and how much we did and how much it's the things that you don't see. It's the things we don't want to mention because we don't want to hurt anyone's feeling. That's the charity. It's inviting them home on Eid's day. It's having iftar with them. I know one of the mothers, she said, you've made me feel human. You make my children feel human, that they're not looked down upon. These are things that we should be looking at every day. This is charity.
Sure, no, without a doubt. And Sauda, if you can maybe give a few examples. I mean, you mentioned obviously about that lady and her children, but others that can really say, so that people can look at Colors of Hope and say, this is where, we'd like to invest our sadaqah jariyah or any other forms of sadaqah.
There's many.
And zakah.
There's many. Like if you look, for example, in Uganda,
Sure.
we've planted trees, clonal eucalyptus trees. And those trees will then, when they're ready, be sold. And the money from there used to build an orphanage. So you're getting double Sadaqatul Jariyah there. You're getting it from the trees, and then you're getting it from sustainability by building an orphanage for them. We've built water wells. Okay, in Gaza, they all destroyed. So what we're actually doing now is we're going to try to start from scratch and also fix the ones that are damaged, repair them. So it's water well, it's Quran. Our tahfiz programs. We have a Braille literacy program in northern Syria where we teach children that are visually impaired to read Quran, to read other fiqh. They do hadith, they do aqaid. They're amazing. And you can go on our social media and look at the visuals on that.
Sure. Sauda, the current initiatives, talk to us about what is the main project that you are currently focusing on specifically when it comes to Ramadan.
So Ramadan is Sadaqatul Jariyah month. It's maximizing everything that you can. So it's your daily iftars, your food packs, water in Ghana, Uganda, the Rohingya camps, Malawi, Syria, everywhere, in the countries that we work in. The bread for Gaza and Quran distribution, and obviously Syria, the school that we have there is now 450 students, which is only one of two schools that were in Idlib working all the time in the free areas, all this time during the war. And this is one of the schools that we have been supporting for many years. It started out as a youth center, and now it's a fully fledged school. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. And how can people get involved in these current projects that you are embarking on?
Just drop us an email. You can DM us on Instagram. We're on X. We're on Facebook. Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. Sauda, let's talk about another part of Colors of Hope. It's Colors of Hope Youth. Let's talk about that.
So Colors of Hope Youth are open to, initially we had them from 12 to 25. And now we have Hopelings. So from 3 right up to 11 can join, and we want to nurture children and grow them up in this.
Sure.
And these are our Colors of Hope Youth, and their projects. The Braille project is actually their first international project, where they raise funds and look at ways that they can make their project grow. And well, they on all the voluntary, the feeding and the schools that are packing bags. I know there's a lot of grade 11s that come to us and say,
Sure.
we need to do community service. So it's a good way to get in touch, and you might develop a skill that you never knew you
Yes.
had.
Sauda, and that's to it, the importance of youth to get involved with organizations like yourself so that the future leaders of NGOs and NPOs are developed, but also the fact that they can make a meaningful contribution towards society.
100%. And we want to take our children out of that sheltered comfort zone. We want to put them into the real world and say, these are the conditions. How do you think we can make it better? We don't always just want to be giving food.
Sure.
What do you think we can do long term? What career are you choosing? And what do you think in your career we can do to better these situations? That's what we want.
Sure. Sauda, what are your plans and goals for the future?
So plans and goals for the future is we have so many projects, but our focus is mostly education,
Sure.
Academic and also Islamic. And we basically want sustainable water, trees, things that can take us a long way. We don't want toxic charity,
Sure.
basically. So we want to improve on that. We also have skills development now where we're partnering with DARE. They do amazing work on teaching girls to sew reusable sanitary pads.
Okay.
So that's a big one that we'll be focusing on this year, inshallah.
Sauda, how can people support your work?
Just follow us on Instagram. When our website is up and running soon, inshallah, we hope that by the eve of Ramadan it will be up.
Inshallah.
There's a form that you can fill in. You can get in touch with us, and you can join us on distributions and take it from there.
And if people want to pledge towards your organization, make donations, what can they do?
On our website, you'll be able to donate on the website,
Sure.
and you can also have the EFT option, and that's how you can donate.
Sauda, the importance of Colors of Hope, organizations like yourself in a democratic South Africa, it's very few nations that actually allow for this to happen. I mean, how fortunate, are we as South African Muslims to have organizations like this that can make an impact nationwide?
Let me tell you, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing, especially if you go out with this here, where sometimes people look at you like they'll tell you you're a priest or something, or you're learning religion, and then when we speak, like we go to Hillbrow and we do our distributions for moms and babies in the baby project, and we all just realize that at the end of the day, we all the same.
Sure, of course.
We're all the same.
Sauda, I got about 1 minute. Just any closing remarks?
I just think we need to look at the bigger picture. I think we're still missing things. I think we're still in our comfort zones, and as much as we think we're doing, I think we can be doing more.
Sure. Sauda, Jazakallah so much for joining us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to grant your organization from strength to strength with success, inshallah. Ameen. Well, that's all we have for you here from Know Your Charity. Don't forget to stay tuned to Hilaal TV for more Ramadan content from myself, Faraz Patel, and the rest of the team in Johannesburg. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.